Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Shots on Target podcast. My name is Phil, and I'm not joined by my man Jakey as he is away again. So you have just me again this week. So you guys know the drill by now. 3 best games of the week, and we're going to get straight into it. So if you do enjoy it, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. So another week of Premier League action in the book. We're in that dreaded month of December where the fixtures come thick and fast for all 20 Premier League clubs. Some action on the Saturday, but the 3 games we are going to take from are all on the Sunday, kicking off with Chelsea versus Brighton. This was a back and forth affair for the majority, as you expect it to be. Brighton just coming off of playing in Europe on the Thursday evening, which is always tough, but that is what you have to do when you get into Europe. And Chelsea take an early lead through Enzo Fernandez's first Premier League goal. It was a well-worked corner, kept alive by, I believe, Badiashile, and then delivered back in, and Enzo was on the mark. Then a few minutes later, Chelsea carried on and made it 2-0 through Levi Colwell, however you want to say his name, through another set piece. So Chelsea had taken a big early advantage in the first half. But that's when it all changed, right at the end of the first half, where Conor Gallagher gets a second booking, which you can have no complaints about. The first one was a little bit harsh, but the second one definitely a booking on Gilmour. And Chelsea rightfully down to 10 men and have it all to do. And actually before that, Buonanotte did get one back for Brighton, so it was an interesting few minutes for Chelsea. But Brighton made a few changes in the second half. They brought on Mitoma, Milner, Pedro and Pascal Gross, who they obviously rested because they obviously played midweek. And they were looking good for the equaliser. But then on the what you'd say is a counter-attack, there was a corner for Brighton, caught by Robert Sanchez. Quick roll out to Sterling, who initiates a breakaway. And then you have him, Jackson and Mudryk on the counter. It goes to Jackson to Mudryk. And he gets into the box. Now, this is where it gets interesting for me. I actually think this is a very, very soft penalty. I know Chelsea fans will obviously be a bit disappointed in that. Obviously, it was given, so you don't really care at the end of the day. But it is a very soft penalty for me. I think he'd already lost control of the ball. I think the ball was already gone. There is a tangle of legs. It's not for the arm. It's more for the tangle of the legs. But for me, it was a very soft one, which Chelsea was obviously awarded. Enzo stepped up, got his second Premier League goal. Fair play to him. That's a double for him. And yeah, from there it sort of looked like game over. Obviously Brighton was still pushing. They did end up getting a second goal back through João Pedro, but it was in the 92nd minute. It was kind of a consolation at that point. They did have one chance in, I think it was the 100th minute. The game went on for ages. It was like the 115th minute it ended. But Chelsea did hold on for a big 3 points at Stamford Bridge. That we'll be very happy about, and they've actually been looking very good at the minute. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about how would all these players fit in and stuff like that, and obviously, before the international break, they got a fantastic 4-4 draw at City, and they've now followed it up with a home win against Brighton, and obviously Brighton will probably had to make changes and look tired after playing in Europe, but as I say, that's what you've got to do. You have to have a squad, unfortunately, to play Thursday, Sunday. It's not so much the Champions League. It's more the Europa League, Europa Conference League to the Premier League, because you've only got if you're playing away on a Thursday evening in, say, Serbia, like West Ham did this week, then you're then travelling home on the Friday or even the Thursday evening late, getting back on the Friday, training on the Friday evening maybe, and then the Saturday training, and then you're back on it on a Sunday. So it's a very quick turnaround. And obviously, as I say, we've hit this month now, December, where fixtures come thick and fast. You've got the Christmas period. You've got the Cup if you're still in it. And obviously, still one more European game to play as well. So it's a very, very busy time for these Premier League clubs. And it's going to be very interesting. But moving on, we now go to Liverpool versus Fulham. This one was an absolute cracker for the neutral. 4-3 Liverpool ended, as you guys probably already know. But we'll kick it off with Trent's absolutely worldy of a free kick. Unfortunately, it has been given as an own goal by the Premier League, which is so unfortunate. It does hit the bar, hit the back of Leno and goes in. It is probably an own goal, but it's a fantastic strike. An absolutely fantastic strike. And that could have sent Liverpool on their way. You know, when Liverpool go 1-0 up, they don't tend to give up that lead very easily. But the one big difference this week that will be, I think, won't be Liverpool's downfall, but it will be very interesting, is obviously Alisson got injured before the international break. So Kelleher stepped in and he didn't exactly shine, shall we say. Harry Wilson ended up getting on the score sheet for Fulham to equalise. You could say Kelleher should do better. That's for you to decide, guys. I think he should do better personally. I don't think it's a great goalkeeping at all, Kelleher. I always thought he was a pretty good goalkeeper, but when you get your chance, when a big goalkeeper like Alisson is out, it makes a huge difference no matter who steps in. So you kind of feel for Kelleher, but when you know you're being thrust into that position, you have to do better. You just have to fucking do better. I'm sorry. So 1-1. Then Alexis McAllister with another blinding finish. All 4 of Liverpool's goals were absolutely brilliant. Give or take Trent's winner, but Alexis McAllister from about 30 yards out, on the bounce, half volley, cuts across the ball as all players are told to do, to get the direction and the power, and fires it into the top corner. It's a beautiful strike. And you think Liverpool are going to go in at half-time 2-1 up there. But no, Tete, it's a corner from Fulham. It's a scrappy one, not dealt well with by Liverpool. It falls to Tete. He sort of toe-pucks it at Kelleher, and he makes an absolute blunder here. This is an absolute blunder. The first one I can possibly give him, but this one's an absolute blunder in all aspects, unfortunately. So that is half-time. Then it's kind of a back and forward affair. Liverpool have their chances. Fulham have a couple of chances as well. Kelleher does make 1 or 2 decent saves that he should save, so at least doesn't let it affect him. But then on the 80th minute, Bobby De Cordova-Reid rises highest at the back post over Shimikas to head it in for 3-2. That one, there's nothing Kelleher can really do about that. For me, Shimikas should be doing better. He does not get off the ground. He doesn't know there's a man behind him. And it's pretty simple for De Cordova-Reid to just head the ball down for 3-2 Fulham. And at this point, Fulham have just literally got to hold on for 10 minutes. But this is Liverpool. We all know that they're famous for a good comeback. They love coming back from losing positions, and that's exactly what they did here. They were pushing and pushing and pushing, and it took a Wataru Endo strike from, I'd say, about 20-odd yards out, 25 yards out, but he arrows it right into the top corner, and it's a fantastic strike from Endo, who'd come off the bench for Gravenberch just a few minutes beforehand, and arrows it into the top corner. So it's a beautiful strike for sure. And obviously this is 3-0, and at that point you think, all right, Fulham will take a point at Anfield, not a problem. But Liverpool obviously weren't going to settle for that, and then exactly 1 minute later, Trent Alexander-Arnold pops up in the box again. There's a bouncing ball. He hits it down into the ground through a group of players, and it just ends up into the back of the net. And Liverpool, in a way, steal 3 points. I'd say it's a steal, this one, because I thought Fulham played very well in this game, especially away at Anfield. It's such a horrible place to go. But I think it's a steal. Let me know what you guys think. Was it a steal? Did Liverpool deserve the 3 points? Do you think they keep getting lucky? Do you think they're the team that have that ability to come back in games all the time? Do you think it's pure luck? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, as I say, 3 big points for Liverpool in the grand scheme of things. And you will find out why they're 3 big points after I speak about the next game. And the final game we are going to do is the big one of the weekend, which was Man City Tottenham. This was a big game. It had a lot of big moments, a couple of controversial ones as well, which we will get into. But right off the bat, obviously, this is a Tottenham team that have just been coming off of 3 losses in a row after having an amazing couple of months. We're sitting top of the league. Tottenham fans were going crazy, giving it all this and that. Celebrating that they'd already won the league. So premature, as always, from Spursy fans. I mean, what can you do? They're Spurs fans at the end of the day. But big game for Spurs this. Can they bounce back? And the answer is yes, they can. Obviously, still missing some big key players in Maddison, Romero. Udogie does come back for this one, which I think did help. But we'll start it off with Tottenham taking the lead. Against the run of play, as you know, City always going to dominate the ball, monopolise it for 90 minutes as much as they possibly can. For me, a bit naive the way they're playing this season, but we'll get into that. But yeah, on a counter attack, brilliant play by Bryan Hill, I've got to say. Turns 3 players in a really tough position. If he loses the ball in this position, he takes a big risk here, because if he loses it, Tottenham are bang under it. But he spins them and allows them to break away. He finds Kulusevski, which is out wide on the left, who then picks the ball over to Son. Unfortunately for Man City fans, the player covering is not the players you want to see. It's not Akanji, it's not Ruben Diaz, it's not Rodri. It is Doku. And Son just shows everyone why Doku is not a defender. He bullies him out of the ball, a bouncing ball, gets in on goal, takes a shot. I think Ederson should do better personally, but either way it ends up in the back of the net. And Tottenham take the lead against the run of play. But this is Spurs after all. We've all heard the trait Spursy, and that is exactly what happens. 3 minutes later, Son Heung-min back in action again, but this time at the wrong end of the pitch. It's a beautifully delivered free kick into a dangerous area, and Son just dangles a leg, hits I believe the top of his knee, and it fires into the back of the net. And that is 1-1. And once again, City dominating the ball, left and right. Tottenham really aren't creating much at all. City, for me, in the first half, could have easily gone in 5-6-1 up. It's ridiculous. Tottenham were a bit naive in the first half. They were trying to play out from the back, like Ange said he was going to do. He said he was always going to try and play football no matter who he played against. So respect to Ange for that, but sometimes you've got to adapt, and you have to adapt fast, and they just didn't, which does lead to the second goal. It's very naive defending. You could see they were trying to play in a line of a back 4 and stay in a line and push up and back together, which is obviously the right thing to do against City. You're trying to play the offside trap, etc. But Julian Alvarez makes a deep run, which Ben Davies actually does track. If he stands his ground and stays, it's not a problem, because the ball, if it even does go to Alvarez, he's offside. But Ben Davies comes back in with him, which then means the rest of the back 4 are out of position. The other players have to drop. They're all out of position, and it's just a nice, simple 1-2 Foden, thank you very much, back of the net goal from City. A very City-esque goal, shall we say. And from there, City obviously take the lead, a well-deserved lead, and they create chance after chance. Haaland missed 2 golden opportunities. One was an absolute sitter that you just do not expect him to miss. Shows he is human after all. Spurs had a couple of chances here and there in the first half, but nothing really to shout about. They've got pretty much dominated in the first half. But that is when it all changed. We go into the second half, and I'm going to use the word complacency. And that is exactly what I'm seeing from City at the minute. They are very complacent. And I said this at the end of last season. They've obviously won the treble, won everything you can win. How do you top that? How do you get those levels back up to want to do it again and again? And that is Pep's biggest job at the minute, is to get them wanting to do it again. And even when City go 2-1 up now, you sort of feel like it happened against Chelsea when they went a goal up. They just look like, we'll just knock the ball around for 20 odd minutes, see the game out, job done. The teams aren't going to let you do that. City obviously have the quality to be able to do that, but you give the ball away in poor areas and you're going to get punished for it. And that's exactly what happened in the second half. Tottenham, in fairness to them, came out firing. They showed that they wanted to give a good account of themselves. And Giovanni Lo Celso equalises with a beautiful finish. And then from there, it really could have gone either way this game. Both teams were attacking end to end, because you obviously City now were like, oh God, we've now got to go again. And which led to City taking the lead again through Jack Grealish in the 81st minute, obviously coming on for Doku after about 52 minutes. This was great for Jack. He needs that for his confidence. Obviously, losing his position to Doku for no reason, to be honest, at all. I don't really see it. But personally, I don't actually see the massive hype in Doku. I get that he's a good player, and I get that he will obviously run at a defender and stuff. But when you're playing in a City team that's got Erling Haaland up top, you could see in the first half he just wanted Doku to just dink the ball over, dink the ball over, dink the ball over, and he would probably just relish something like that. Even if it doesn't reach Haaland, he'll still respect the fact that you tried to find him. But no, Doku would rather get the ball down and take on a defender, or even times he'd take the ball down, take on a defender, stop, wait for the second defender to come over, and then just pass it backwards. So for me, I don't really see the hype in it. You guys might think I'm different. Again, let me know in the comments below if you do believe Doku is a world star like people were saying. I don't personally see it. But nonetheless, you expect the game to be done at this point. 3-2 City. The commentators are saying about this is Spurs' fourth loss in a row. But pops Dejan Kulusevski. It was a brilliant cross from Brennan Johnson to the back stick. He puts it into an area that can be attacked. Nathan Ake, who has just come on for Gvardiol, who I guess you could say is probably a little bit off the pace. Doesn't quite... He knows that Kulusevski is behind him, but he's still got to get up. This is the debate Roy Keane and Micah Richards and Jamie Carragher had after the game. Was it bad defending from Ake? Was it just a great header from Kulusevski? For me, it was a bit of both. I think Ake has to get up off the ground. He's not... it's like Roy Keane said, he's worrying too much about the man and not about the ball. And in that instance, you've just got to go and head the ball away. You head the ball away, you win the game. Simple as. But he doesn't. Kulusevski out-jumps him, bullies him in the air, heads a fantastic header right into the top corner. And you would say that was all she wrote, because it obviously did end 3-3, as you guys know. But the controversy does not stop there. I think it was a couple of minutes to go. It's a lovely counter-attack from City. Erling Haaland turns the midfielder, but gets fouled in the process. But the referee initiates play on. He does this hand movement here where he initiates play on. He does have this whistle to his mouth, but he doesn't blow it. So he's initiated play on. So Haaland knows this. He's dinked the ball over the top, and at this point Jack Grealish is in. He's beaten the defenders. He is one-on-one with the keeper at this point. And then when the ball is in the air, that is when the ref blows, and the City fans and the City players are obviously irate. Guardiola's going mental on the touchline. Us as fans can't believe what the hell has just happened. And for me, it's just an absolute poor decision from the referee. He will put his hands up and go, I made a huge mistake there. For me, there's two things you need to look at. Number one is the biggest one for me is, yes, it is a huge mistake from the referee, but this is still about the 35-yard line, and Jack Grealish has two defenders right on his shoulder at this point. I get that if Jack takes a nice heavy touch, and he obviously has the pace to get away and he'll be one-on-one with the keeper, I get that, but there is still a lot for Jack Grealish to do. It's not like the referee has literally stopped a clear and obvious goal for me. I can understand why the City fans are upset about it. I would be as a City fan. The referee should be... If he's initiating play on, he should be letting the play go on. I thought the ref was very good for that on Sunday, but obviously the one instinct. But you can see why the Man City fans were upset. But for me, Grealish still had a lot to do. So it's still not clear and obvious whether or not Grealish would have gone on to finish it off. He might have held up the ball and waited for more support, because Grealish doesn't have a crazy amount of pace. But we won't know, because the ref blew the whistle. And that stopped the game. And obviously the City fans, players, management, staff, etc. were all irate. Rightly so. But that's football these days. Referees are human, unfortunately, guys. They do make mistakes. We're quick to judge them. And rightly so in situations like this. But we have to remember they are human, as much as it pains us to do. I get it. As a football fan, it pains you when you know your team would have had a great goal scoring opportunity, and like I said, it's Jack Grealish. He could have easily took a nice heavy touch away from the defenders, sprinted away from him and put it past the keeper and won the game. But as I say, we'll never know. But nonetheless, it is a point dropped, 2 points dropped for City, and a big point for Tottenham in my eyes, which they will gladly take, especially with their run of fixtures. So that is going to do it, guys, for the 3 biggest games of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So that's going to do it, guys, for this week's episode of the Shots on Target podcast. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Remember, if you have, to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Your support means the absolute world to us. It's what keeps us coming back every week to deliver more fun-filled football trivia or top goals or whatever you want to see. And let us know in the comments below what you guys want to see. We want to know what keeps bringing you back here, guys. Is it the 3 games a week? Is it when we do our top moments of the season or in Premier League history? Is it our all-time Premier League 11s that you enjoyed? Would you like to see something different? Let us know in the comments below, and we will bring it to you guys. We will be happy to do so. So once again, we hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next week, guys.